Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Spring semester has started up again and I am back on campus right now, so I thought what better way to kick it off than talk about 5 things that I like and 5 things that I dislike about this beautiful campus. That's the bell tower right behind me. This view is beautiful, the sunset is beautiful. Before I get into it, don't forget to drop a sub if you haven't already, and a like would be much appreciated because I had to walk around a lot for this video. Alright, let's get into the first one. Now, one of the worst things about UNC's campus is actually one of the same things that makes it special, and that's how old it is. When you're the oldest public university in the nation, you're going to have some buildings and dorms that are just not very updated. Now, one of the most notorious that UNC students will tell you about is Phillips Hall. It's right behind me. And yeah, trust me, you do not want to go into the bathroom in this one. All the classrooms have these old uncomfortable chairs. I'm honestly not too sure what classes are taught in here. They're like some gen ed, some science ones. The hallways are pretty gross too. And the same trend is there, just in a lesser scale on a lot of the other classroom buildings. Dorms, they renovate every now and then, so it's not as bad. But yeah, if you get a really old class building, it's obviously not a deal breaker, but it's not going to be very fun. Unless you just don't care about that kind of stuff. I also really like how close together and connected campus is. The one kind of exception to this is the freshman dorms. But everything on the north side of campus is right next to each other. You got your student stores right there, library right there, another library back there, dining halls right there, like 10 or 15 different class buildings all together. Makes transitioning between classes really easy, or if you want to go from class to library, dining hall to class, anything like that, you're not gonna have to walk for more than 10 minutes ever. Plus, all of this is right in front of like the football stadium, the medical side of campus, the graduate side of campus, and I really like that once you get to the main part of campus, you can pretty much stay there the whole day without really having to drive anywhere or go on longer walks. Another bad thing about UNC's campus is the parking situation. First of all, freshmen can't park. That's just a rule. You can't really get behind it unless you want to pay like 15 bucks a day for parking. And if you don't have a permit, first of all, there's very limited spaces on campus other than these huge decks, but pretty much all of them except for Rams Head require a permit. And even in Rams Head and the other paid spaces around campus, it's like $1.75 or $2 an hour from 7:30 to 5. After 5, you can just pay the $1 weeknight parking fee and it's fine. But yeah, if you want to have your car here during the day, it's going to be expensive. And then for permits, getting them is actually really hard. Like there's probably like a 20 to 30% chance that you actually get one. And if you do, there may be like $150 to $200 a semester. Kind of sick, not gonna lie. So yeah, if you need to come here and you need to bring your car, I'd suggest coming either after 5 or on a weekend. The few times I brought my car in freshman year, it was such a hassle. I had to like park it in one place, then move it the next hour, then move it the next hour. I had to get up at 7 in the morning to move it to a paid spot so I don't get a ticket. I forgot to do that once. I got a $40 ticket, not gonna do it again. Well, when you have nowhere to park, you're gonna have to walk a lot. And one thing I love about UNC is how pretty much the entire campus is engulfed in nature. Like there's 2 squirrels right in front of me right now. It makes for any of those annoying 15-20 minute walks to get to class or to get to Franklin Street a nice one. It's a good place to go for a run, and it just adds to that, I don't know how to describe, but just that vibe of being on campus and being at one of the first universities. In winter, like right now, it can get kind of stale, but still, it's gotta be one of the most prettiest colleges in North Carolina, if not the US. And that might be very subjective, but I really like that aspect of UNC. However, we got that double contradiction going. With walking comes all these narrow pathways, and they're really nice to walk on, don't get me wrong. And I'm glad they're there, but some of these can get confusing as heck sometimes, especially in your first semester. Like, I got the hang of walking from my dorm to my class really well. Obviously, everything in North Campus is right next to each other, so that wasn't a problem. But on some of the other random walks, like to get to the Genome Sciences building or to get to the specific student gate of the football stadium or going to campus health, like all of that requires these weird little paths. Oh, my bad. You're good. Oh, no, sorry. No, you're good. You're good. Hi. No, you're good. Actually, not. Yeah. Sorry. No, you're good. I'll try. Like I said, UNC is very bikeable. Since you don't go on them that often, you don't really memorize it. and sometimes Google Maps is wrong too. So just be aware of that. It's not a huge deal. Yeah, especially even if you don't go here, you're definitely going to find this problem. Another aspect about UNC that I really like is the sense of community that this campus sort of brings. Because everything is like right next to each other, most of the people are in this one space throughout the entire day. And usually this area behind me, the quad, is completely filled, the pit is completely filled. And it feels like there's not one day where the majority of campus isn't wearing Carolina blue. And I think that's awesome. It doesn't feel like there's much exclusion or anything like that on campus. We all know how hard everyone's classes are. And also considering the fact that most of the freshmen stay in like 3 specific dorms, that makes it really easy to relate to everyone on campus on at least one thing. But even though UNC's campus is very filled, one of the things I dislike about it is the lack of things to do, really. Now don't get me wrong, on Franklin and on campus there are a lot of stuff, such as like the planetarium right behind me. It's cool, but once you go 1 or 2 times, like, you've seen everything that needs to be seen. Same thing goes for like the other activities they try to do on campus, like rock climbing and all that kind of stuff. And then on Franklin, it's like 80% restaurants, and then everything else on it are just like shops and stuff that you don't really do to hang out with friends during the day. And there is a lack of like a proper place nearby to go do all that stuff, so it makes it kind of annoying if you're bored and you've already explored what campus has to offer. Like at State, for instance, you can just take a 9-minute drive to downtown and there's so many things there, but in Chapel Hill the closest thing is Durham, which is like 20 minutes away. But yeah, I love UNC, I love Chapel Hill, but it can get kind of repetitive once you've been here for a while and explored pretty much everything. Make sure you do that though, because there are a lot of people that I know that just showed them places that they were advertised the whole time and they didn't know that a bunch of stuff existed around here, which makes this problem even worse. As you saw right there, that was Kenan Stadium. I would go in it right now, but it's too dark to get any good shots, so I'll just explain. Another thing I love about UNC's campus is the fact that all of its stadiums and fields are right on campus. So for one, that makes going to games super easy, like a 10-minute walk to any of the sports that you want. And also, most of them are accessible at least half the time, even the football field. So if you want to just play a quick 5v5 with your friends on real turf, you could just walk in there and do that. Same thing goes for the soccer fields. There's plenty of practice soccer fields. There's plenty of free basketball courts too. And overall, it just contributes to UNC's sport culture and makes them really fun places to go with your friends. The field hockey stadium is right next to the freshman dorms too, so that's a fun place to do stuff. And one of the main things I dislike about UNC's campus, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I'm standing in front of it right now, but it is the union. I'm sure most Carolina students will agree with me on this, especially if you've seen other colleges like State's. I've seen Ohio State's, I've seen pictures of Charlotte's, and they all seem like they outclass ours by far. Like, a union is supposed to be a place where you can either chill, do work, or get something to eat, but ours has like very few tables. There's a decent amount of seats on the second floor, but it's not really anything compared to the ones I just mentioned. There's 2 restaurants, Alpine Bagels and Wendy's. And then the downstairs, I do admire what they try to do. They have like ping pong tables, a gaming station, a dance room or something. It's called the Underground. They're trying to make it into a proper union, but it's not there yet. I'd much rather eat in the dining hall, do work in a library, or chill with friends in like one of our dorms or lounges and stuff. So yeah, I don't think it's serving its purpose very well for now. Hopefully that changes in the future. And it even looks pretty crappy from the outside too. And one of the best things I like about UNC, you know it, I mentioned it a few times in this video already, but it is Franklin Street. I'm sort of on the edge of it right now, so you can't really see the main part, but having downtown Chapel Hill within a 10 to 15 minute walking distance of wherever you are on campus is honestly what I think puts UNC from an average campus to an above average campus. Maybe it was a little overhyped when I got here. Everyone was talking about Franklin Street this, Franklin Street that, but still I love it. If people from other colleges or family come visit you, this is where you want to go. There's a bunch of good restaurants of like every different cuisine. There's plenty of fast food places as well. The mini shops and all of that are so cool to explore for the first time. And it also has bars, clubs, and all of that kind of stuff as well. Unfortunately, it's not really a good place to do business. A lot of them closed down, including Waffle House, which I'm so mad about. And there's a slightly overpriced Target. So yeah, you can't go to UNC without going to Franklin Street at least like once a week. Also, honorable mention for best things, we got Sam the Spider. If you know, you know. Didn't get the chance to record a proper outro to this one, so hopefully that was entertaining or helpful if you're a freshman and still wondering what campus is like. There's obviously pros and cons of everything, but overall I would say the pros outweigh the cons of UNC's campus, and none of the negative reasons I mentioned should hold you back from coming to UNC. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you later. Peace out.